Hello, everybody, and welcome to another cup of self-empowerment to trust, heal, and be thyself. I'm absolutely delighted to bring some joy into our cuppa hub today. We have the beautiful Joyce Weaver joining from the US with us today. And for those of you who have not had the pleasure with connecting with Joyce, let me just introduce you to her all. Joyce Weaver is a light worker, a healer, and intuitive artist. She believes in the power of keeping your heart space open and doing the work. Life is like a box of chocolates, and you always get something sweet, is what Joyce says to us all. So welcome, Joyce. Welcome to our Cuppa Hub today. It's lovely to have you with us.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here.
Oh, the honor's all mine. So, this is always about a journey of trusting and healing and being thyself. So, how would you like to share your personal journey of how you actually started trusting thyself in your daily life and how everything's unfolded for you in life in general, basically?
Yeah, so honestly, I think it's been a lot of my higher self throws me into situations that I can learn trust in.
Yeah.
A lot of the times it's like universe surprise me, and then I maneuver through it and I show
Mhm.
my that I have what it takes to do something,
Yeah.
and then I trust myself more, and then
Mhm.
I take more steps in alignment, and then
Mhm.
I continue to show myself that I'm trustworthy, and I'll have like synchronizations that'll pop up.
For
And
example, give us some examples of the synchronizations which have happened to you.
so like I'll be reading a book, and then as I'm reading the book that somebody gave me because I said something to them, and then I'm reading the book and something will pop up. And I'm like, no way. I
Oh,
was
you get that with the book as
somebody
well.
else.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yes, all the time. And like I'm
Mhm.
reading, I have to go tell the persons, like, I just have the answer to your question that you were just asking about. It was just in this book that so and so gave to me because I had said something about them. It's just like,
Oh, how interesting. So it's actually answers for other people as well. It's not just for you.
yeah, not just,
Wow.
but it usually does assist me as well.
Of
But I'm
course. Yeah.
curious about everybody else that, the other night I even had a dream that I was my dog.
And how did it feel to
And
be your dog?
it was so I've had a lot of dreams with other people, animals, etc. And she was saying thank you for like taking her wants into account. So I
Oh.
her daily vitamins for her
Mhm.
joint and for probiotics and stuff. And she's really sensitive. Her stomach, she'll like puke really easily, that
Oh,
kind of
bless
thing.
her.
And so I was realizing she really likes the connection of like doing a little couple of trainings and like tricks first, and then
Okay.
she'll eat a little bit of food after that.
Okay.
Then she'll take her probiotic and her multivitamin.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
But if I do it in a different order, sometimes she'll vomit. And
Mm.
so I'm learning it, and I've been working with her and her special situation. And in the dream, she was just showing me what it was like to eat it without having gone in the other order. And it was like eating a bouillon cube. And I was like, oh, that's foul.
Ew.
And I could feel how like the stomach it would be easier to eat it if I had all of these things that I had done first. And I just felt like this
Wow.
sense of love and appreciation.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. So that's one of
Wow.
the experiences of like I've been having all of these syncs coming in, dreams, and then my mother-in-law will be having a situation with her dog. And I was like, well, have you tried doing it in this other order?
Mm.
Dream about my dog and blah, 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 blah. And so
Mhm.
things will be popping up, and it's very much also, it goes to my life and my experiences, but somehow it also goes for everybody else, which is
That's
why I
cool.
think it's so important to keep your heart open so that
Definitely.
you can continue to do light work for everybody around you, because when you do that work on you, it ends up
Mm.
snowballing for everyone.
And it just ripples out, doesn't it? It's totally, yeah, it totally is that way. And this is going to bring me into my next question, which is really interesting that you're like basically talking about these dreams which are coming through. Okay. Because you're
Yeah.
channeling basically in your dreams, we both work in the records and with
Yes.
energy. So, it's like through the records, you're connecting to the records of these animals, for example. And
Yeah.
so would you say that it was from, I mean, it's always a journey, but would it be correct to say that through your own personal healing journey and learning certain modalities, that this has amplified your ability to do this?
1000%.
Yeah.
100%. It's given me more trust within myself.
Yes.
So like, more that I engage in these classes with people or books that I'm reading, the more that I have aligned action, really, which is hard because if I don't trust myself, then I don't want to do anything.
Yes, because we want to run away from it.
Right? I get very Jonah and the whale. I don't want to do that. But, you know, like I said, my higher self tends to force me into situations where, you know, I tried to think about like, what was when I started my journey? That was the thing where I was thinking about it. I'm like, could it be this one time? And I'm like, like coming up with all these situations in my mind, being like, no, that's not it. I was forced.
When did it really start? When did you like have this, I don't know, nudge to start going on this journey of trusting yourself?
The weird thing is I have felt this kind of like understanding that I'm on a journey since I was a little kid. You know, talking dreams. I used to have this dream that Jesus was a captain of a spaceship.
Oh, I bet Jesus likes
He was
that.
so cool, dude.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And he had like this cool hair and he was like the cool guy, always like walking around with like the cool gun and everything. He was all like, follow me, guys. And we were walking around this cool spaceship. And we were exploring and we were having fun. And I've always kind of had that feeling.
That's cool. That must be really comforting, actually.
Okay, so it's
Well, when you get over like the maybe that it might feel a bit strange to start off with that you're having this dream, but
yes. So some people are very accepting of the fact that I'll talk about my experiences and my dreams as if they are very real, and I take so much away from them. And this is where the trust comes in too. My mom was hospitalized for being potentially schizophrenic. And so, you know, speaking those truths are difficult because I have this fear that somebody's going to be like, you're crazy. I'm putting you into mental institution.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just so even going to the doctor was difficult, trying to get, you know, an appointment to talk about something with them. I was like, for sure, I'm not going to leave this hospital room right now. They're just going to be like, you're crazy. Goodbye. You're staying.
Yeah, but it's, you know, when we work in the Akashic Records, we know when we do this work in today's day and the day, we're actually rewriting old conditioning and stuff like that. So for you to sum up that trust together and to actually claim it, own it, and step into
take those aligned steps.
Yeah, which is
and I am always going into the records to like make those aligned choices, which is, for me, that's what I mean when I say like open your heart. I really find that the records are easily accessible within my heart. When I'm quiet, I don't have to do any kind of special ceremony, even though I love to do a special ritual ceremony.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
It's so easy now, just connect into.
I'm in and out. I'm tapping in and out. It's kind of like, it's just part of me. And I also believe from the bottom of my heart, in my whole entire being, that every single person can access their Akash.
100%.
It's there.
I believe a lot of people are without knowing it.
Exactly. I wasn't. I was doing it the whole time without knowing. Yeah. It wasn't until I learned to read the records, I was like, do you know you're actually in your Akash more often than you think? You're like, really? That's what it's at.
Exactly. It's like it's getting better at not just being in that space, and you know, because it can feel really exciting to think about different possibilities and then not do them.
Yeah, free will.
I'm like, oh, you know what? I could just spend some time in the records and see different possibilities, and then I don't know if I really want them. What do I want? And then it's easy to kind of slip into a depressive state because I'm at that point where I know a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I need to start doing something about it. It's really powerful.
Yeah.
But it's also really scary.
Yeah, of course. It is. And that brings me, you know, into my next question, you know, how do you step into that sovereignty of claiming it and saying, look, I'm unapologetically me. I'm standing here in all my colors.
Yeah.
And they might be psychedelic, multicolored, spotted, striped, whatever you want to call them. They might flash, who knows? They're not going to be for everybody, and they're going to not be accepted by everybody. But to get to that state where you're like, this is who I am.
Yeah.
And I like who I am, or I'm still working on learning to love who I am.
Yeah.
You know, would you say there's a point what you've already reached where you're like, okay, I'm getting to that stage, or I'm at that stage, or I know it's coming very soon? Because I think this would be really, really helpful for our viewers today, you know, to know that it's
battling with the dark night of the soul.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been walking through, like,
for those who don't know what the dark night of the soul is, you know, can you put that in a nutshell for us all? In your words, because everyone has their own spin on it. And I'd like, let's have Joyce's, and I like, because your surname Weaver, we're going to weave this in now. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for me, it's been a feeling of like not belonging, you know, that, what is it called when you think that you're not supposed to be in the situation? What is that called?
Disconnection. I don't know. You're putting
I can't remember. Disconnection, essentially, but feeling like I am fake, that I am not worthy of being here. Imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome, of course.
Dealing with imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Getting rid of that, like, you know, embracing my truths, understanding that I am the only one who can speak my truth.
Yeah.
You know, everybody else has a beautiful truth, but mine is mine. And that's valid.
Exactly. And yours might be different to mine, but doesn't mean we can't be friends. You know, it's like, it's having that zero judgment and that holding that space of unconditional love to, you know, saying, okay, we have that free will, we have our own blueprint, and we have to, I shouldn't use the word have, but we have the
opportunity to.
Yeah, we are invited to, you know, see it from another person's perspective, see it through another person's eyes, feel it through another person's energy. You know, that's how we also grow.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, the dark night of the soul. Yeah. So it's like a depression cloud, you know, whatever it takes over. It feels like being hopeless. It feels like, I don't know, whatever it is that's your specific thing. Like, you know, that bad track that's running in the back of your mind. I'm too sensitive. I wasn't made for this world. Why am I here? Those kinds of thoughts. Those are what like compound
kind of like a massive overwhelm and anxiety as well leads to it as well, doesn't it, at times?
Yes, 100%. The anxiety like makes it so that I'm not able to listen to, you know, that calm, quiet, inner heart space of,
because this chatter's going in the brain.
Yeah, the monkey mind is just going off, going crazy, and I can't do, you know, a whole lot about it. And then, you know, all of these different practices that we have, yoga, meditation, qigong, you know, basically stretching and being with yourself.
Yes, it's what it is. It's stretching. It's carving that bit of time out to stretch and drop down into that heart space.
Yeah. And thinking about things from another perspective, you know, from that Akashic Records perspective, that higher perspective, and staying there and allowing myself to just soak it up.
How do you feel when you're in the records? When I'm in the records, or when I'm taking someone into their records, I always invite the person to feel that energy, what they're feeling, because that's their signature, that's their blueprint. And everyone's like, oh my goodness, it's so peaceful, it's so calm, it feels so held. And that's how it feels for me. It just feels when I'm in the Akashic Records or in the Akashic field, you know, that I'm just being hugged.
Yes.
it feels like home. And it sounds a bit, I don't want
Relief.
to sound daft because I'm in my house at the moment, and
Yeah.
I'm in
Yeah.
my body home as well, and
Yeah.
I'm very much grounded onto this planet. But it's like that space of, it just is so accepting,
Yeah.
and not makes you, it enables you to see everything from that bird's eye view, and to
Yeah.
take yourself out of the equation with any, ego, any judgment, any, whatever. Yeah.
It's such a relief. Usually, whenever I've taken anybody into the space of the Akashic Records, I know when they're also there with me because
Yeah.
both start to sob.
Yeah. It's a
Usually.
powerful space. It is a
Yeah.
powerful space, but yet so gentle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just this like I can be accepted like this.
Yeah.
I am love. I am loved.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then I usually have loved ones that'll pop through
Nice.
with the Akashic Records. And I'll get, I don't know, just like a kind of a pat on the back, like a
Oh,
just you're doing really great. Those kinds of messages are
yeah.
always coming through when I'm just kind of
Lovely.
soaking it up, which feels like more,
Because
um,
you're allowing in that space, you're dropping down all your boundaries as well, because you're trusting.
yeah,
So if you're putting the walls down, which you've basically been having up the whole time,
yeah,
then it opens, and because you're going into that space, you're inviting spirit in whichever form it is, whether it's loved ones, whether it's your masters, your teachers, any angels or other light beings, whoever wants to come through. Or maybe it's just direct up there and they're not telling you who they are, because it's the message what counts and not the person delivering it.
so frequently that's it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. It's down to the message. And,
Yeah.
to feel that, and each and every one of us can feel that,
Mhm.
it gives you that ultimate trust, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
The more I step into that, the more
Yeah.
that I,
Yeah.
but it's still so hard.
Of
And
course. Of course.
it is, it's like
Yeah.
the spiral staircase going up, but still going
Mhm.
in circles. So you kind of feel a little bit like you're crazy, but you're still making progress. So like I'll run into the same exact problem,
Yeah.
but from a new perspective this time.
Because the layer's been ripped off. So you're going
Yeah,
a layer deeper, you're going a layer deeper.
a layer deeper.
Deeper. What would you say? Stripping off the band-aid with my terrible memory.
Yeah.
Right, right. Taking off
Oh,
the plaster,
yeah.
taking that plaster off. Yeah.
Diving
Or
even
that,
deeper.
that padding what you put around yourself to protect your little heart
Yeah.
and your little soul. Well, your soul's huge, but you might be feeling quite little and sensitive. So
Yeah.
one because
There
feels
was
little
once
wants to hide away a little bit. So
exactly. My husband explained his ego and his higher self and like his inner child once to me. And he explained it as like there was this door, like at a club, and
mm-hmm.
behind the door was him and his like youthful inner child self. And outside the door was like this like bouncer. And he's like, I'm not gonna let you in because you're gonna,
The ego. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
little him cry. So and it was
Mm.
really helpful um visual for me. So I'm just
Yeah.
I let my bouncer make that decision. I'm so sorry. Which is also a really helpful tool to be able to communicate
Yeah.
and relationships too.
And I so think someone's going to be able to take that away with us today and say, hey, I like this visualization or thought
Yeah.
form. And if they apply it, they might realize, they're more open to what they thought they were.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Exactly. That's
Mm.
when I first started getting into spirituality in
Mhm.
general. You know, I grew up Christian, so switching from religion to spirituality,
Yeah.
similar for me, but like an evolving form of it. But for some people, they're like, "Oh, you got into spirituality. Wouldn't that be the beginning of your journey?" And I'm like, "Well, It's always kind of been there.
Yeah.
To like specifically yoga and specifically meditation instead of just
Mm.
or doing Pilates.
Mm.
It's been a lot more involved. I lost my train of thought there. What was my
When you
point?
first got into spirituality, maybe you want to share with us all today what your first spiritual
Oh
tool
yeah.
was.
Some stuff was really difficult to get past because there's so much different vocabulary and lingo that you're like, wait, the Akashic Records, what? Like a
Yeah,
down, what? Like you're
yeah.
doing what is
Higher
meditation?
self, what's that?
Yeah,
Yeah. Mhm.
exactly. Yeah, my guide, I need to do what? It's like just let it all go.
Yeah.
Like check in with yourself.
Yeah,
And
it's mindfulness at the end of the day. I'm probably going to get told off for saying this, but at the end of the day, the real start of, going down that path, you might not want to call it spirituality, and that's absolutely fine. But it's
yeah,
taking care of thyself, I feel. It's just really having that returning to yourself,
yeah,
remembering the core essence of who you are.
yeah.
And
It's selfish and selfless.
exactly, exactly. And you will have that battle within yourself, thinking, oh my God, I'm probably going to come across really selfish now, but I speak to look
Yes.
after myself. And, you know, if you've been
That
born,
balance is
if
so
you've been
part of it.
born a people pleaser and you've always worried about what other people think of you, that is
Yeah.
challenging at the beginning, but you step past that and you'll always be walking through it. You'll always be working through
Oh
it
yeah.
because
Oh
it's
yeah.
just part of who you are that makes
Yeah.
you so you and beautifully you.
And it allows me to learn so many beautiful lessons and unique experiences that other people wouldn't even be able to understand because it's just me that's going through this, even
And it doesn't mean
going through
it's,
a similar thing.
yeah, it's easy. It can be really shitty. Yes.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
But
Very alone.
sometimes, yeah, but isn't that sometimes part of life in general anyway?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful to be able to actually embrace it and accept it and be like, yeah,
Because it's energy and motion. So if you
yeah,
keep that in your mind, you know, yeah.
don't
I
squeeze
know
onto it. Let it
exactly. And you don't have to be like someone who's like totally wants to do yoga or Pilates the whole time. I do
exactly.
yoga, but I'm not like excellent at it or anything. But it definitely,
Exactly.
I do it because it helps me get out of my head and
Mhm.
helps me
Helps
shift
me feel
energy.
better.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
if that's not possible, then I get outside or, you
Dance
dance
to a
around your
song.
living room or something. Exactly.
Yeah.
Give yourself a shake, real
Mhm.
shake it out, whatever. There's just so many ways, which I think a lot of us are doing anyway without even realizing we're shifting our energy.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
we're not necessarily understanding that that's the beautiful stuff right there.
Yeah.
So then, when we can embrace it and celebrate that's the beautiful stuff, we can do more of it. And then it's like a snowball effect and things do keep getting better and you do go up the staircase.
And you meet the people who you're supposed to meet on the way up the staircase
Exactly.
because you're suddenly coming into that
Video game.
self-trust and opening those doors and then people's like,
Mhm.
hey, resonating,
Yes.
let's
It's
hang out.
you
Yeah.
have like the next quest to unlock, but you have to follow these little things, and you're like, oh yeah, I'll follow the little, and all of a sudden, oh, a new quest was,
Breadcrumbs. Yeah, it's like
and then you get to
breadcrumbs.
keep going and keep
Mhm.
going.
And every now and again, you've given the key, and we're like, yeah, I can open that door now. Woohoo!
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, this game is too hard. I can't beat the boss. What's
Oh,
happening?
like I don't know what it's called. Mario, where he jumps the whole time on the sort of thing. It's like, oh, I didn't make that. I fell down. I got to start at the beginning again, kind of thing.
Exactly. And those ones don't always have saves, so you're just trying to make it through. That's
Yeah.
intense.
Hmm.
Some of those video games are really great comparison. Just like, yoga with Adrienne, how
Yeah.
she's getting on the mat is the hardest part. Just
Which it is. It's so
up.
true.
Just do it.
Yeah.
It's the hardest part. It's true.
Hmm.
And I've been thinking that a lot in life. I've been finally settling into like, oh my goodness, I've got to get this appointment made. I've got to, get these things in order. Life's been so crazy,
Yeah.
23, we all know how crazy it's been.
Oh yeah.
Difficult to keep up with life needs. Taking kids to the doctor and the dentist, and taking myself to the doctor and the dentist, taking the dogs to the,
to the vets and everything.
Yeah, there's so many things that need to do. And if I drop one element of it, it makes me kind of feel like, oh no, now all of it's gonna drop.
Relatable. Totally relatable.
Yeah,
It's
right?
like these shoulders, they look quite small, but they're like this big, and I'm like walking around like this sometimes.
Atlas.
And sometimes it will tip me over, and then I'm like, oops, okay, I just fell over. Better get up.
Just figure out how to keep going, pick up.
Yeah, and it's like sometimes we're actually putting that weight on ourselves.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And
Mhm.
finding like getting this wonderful, interview with you. I was keep going through this like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I love Kelly. This is gonna be the best. And then like, say something stupid. So going back and forth between those things.
Yeah, but that's the polarity of who we've got. It's like you got your devil and your angel, if you want to have that connotation on your shoulders, or
I don't mind.
Or what did you say? Your bouncer and
Yeah, my sweet little inner child and then my bouncer.
Yeah, let's have that combination. I like that because that's really relatable. Yeah, that's really relatable. Totally.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give our viewers today on their journey of starting to tap into mastering their own energy, mastering their self? Mastering is a huge word, but then, it starts with tiny little steps and it's a journey. It's not like you get to the end and say, hey, yeah, I'm the king, I'm the queen, I've mastered, I'm untouchable.
Never have to do work again.
No, you just know how to shift that shit quicker, basically. Yeah.
Exactly. You're like, look at this shit around me. Shovel.
Oh yeah, recognizing I'm not being the highest version of myself here, or the better version. I'm not saying high because I don't want to put low down there, but
right.
I wasn't showing up like I really would, like my heart intentional me would have should or could have shown up,
Yeah, exactly.
Wished is a better word, totally. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say honestly, the number one thing is hydrate.
So everyone now, I would like to invite you to get your water bottle and drink, or have a cup of tea. I've got tea because that's what we do. We drink tea. Tea in a crisis. Well, not that we're having a crisis, but I'll have some tea. Okay, hydrate. Yeah. And then
because your fascia in your body, it's the largest organ, bigger than your skin, because it connects your skin, all of your muscles, every organ.
I didn't know that. Thank you.
Yes. Your fascia is your largest organ. It's made up of water and collagen. And so it holds all of your emotions, and it can scar. That's plantar fasciitis. They're finding out it's not inflammation, it's fascia scarring in your feet. So a lot of water, making sure that it's got electrolytes in it so that you're actually getting hydrated. Stretching, release the emotions and let your fascia get healthy. That's going to support you in all of your journey. It's going to be so unique and different for everybody.
Yeah.
But if you can hydrate and have healthy fascia, I think you'll make it through.
I think that's an awesome piece of advice and a totally unexpected piece of advice, and I love it. I really love it. I did not know that fantastic fact.
Yeah, it's so funny because my son came home from school and he was like, Mom, do you know what the largest organ in the body is? And I was like,
we learn so much from our children,
fascia.
Seriously.
And he was like, no, it's the skin. And I was like, actually,
I'm going to go and ask my children.
Yeah. And I had to Google it and look it up for him. And it was like cutting edge science. And his science teacher was a little lagging behind. Ooh. I was like, see? And he was like,
what the German system's doing this end.
I know, right? I would be fascinated to see.
I'll go and test my 5th grader and my 7th grader.
Yes, do it. I love that.
Oh, I'm going to definitely go and do that. Definitely. That can be my fantastic fact. And everyone will be like, I'm probably the only one who doesn't know this as well. Someone's like, yeah, Kelly, that's so obvious. And I'll be like, okay. I claim that. I know that now, and I'm very grateful for this piece of knowledge, which I didn't know half an hour ago. So thank you for that.
Yeah. I consider myself quite a bit of an information nerd. So, I mean, hey,
Yeah.
maybe I'm one of the cutting edge people who knows it.
You never know.
Yeah, you never
Let
know.
you know if I can
I think
find
it was 2019 was when the little piece of that thing on the date on the science whatever came out claiming that it was now the largest organ. So,
Yeah, because I was still by skin.
2023.
Bit outdated me.
I was trying to be nice.
And that wasn't a question I asked in my records either, so I didn't get that answer.
Oh,
Didn't come to mind. Yeah, my guys are probably laughing. They're laughing at me now, going, Kelly, seriously?
I see. I'm always asking about this stuff because I dealt with plantar fasciitis and I deal with like chronic dehydration, which they've linked to EBV, which now is going to be linked to multiple sclerosis and lupus. So like various what are those disorders called? Where they attack your immune system. Yes. So hydrate.
Yeah, very valuable
And be kind to yourself.
That's huge. That's, think about when you're having a really, this is what I try to remind myself to do. When I'm having a moment where I'm really like ripping myself to pieces, really down on myself or, annoyed and like, oh, seriously, Kelly, get a grip. Then it's like, would you talk to your kids like this? Would you talk to your best friend like this? Would you talk to your partner like this? Would you even talk to your pet like that? So why are you doing it to you?
No, exactly.
And that's a learning process.
Oh yeah, it is. Reparenting yourself, they say.
Well, yeah, you're at it at the moment. So how can people reach out to you, Joyce? If people are like, hey, I want some more fantastic facts, or what healing modalities do you offer? Or how can you help? How can you share your light and how can you support? Tell us about your art. You need to check out Joyce's art. You need to share where they can see that.
Yeah, I haven't gotten something like super official set up lately because I'm definitely still working on doing a lot of work before I really step out there.
That's fair enough. But share your beauty. Seriously, this artwork, what you create, I have the honor to have one in my living room, two in my living room, actually.
Yeah.
And they're beautiful. And there's just so much beauty and healing in this imagery, that you create. So I really would like to encourage others to tap into that as well. So please share where they can see this.
Yeah. So I have an Etsy and I do have an Instagram.
Oh, you have an Etsy. How cool.
Right. Yeah, I've gotten a few pieces up there, but it's more like if you messaged me about a piece, then I can make a listing of it because I don't have very many listings up right now.
It's fair enough.
I also have an Instagram, and both of those are under Ink Art Weaver. So INKARTWEAVER. And I have on my Instagram account, I share various kind of like picture journal updates almost, like just different pictures of things or things that I'm painting in my art journal, not necessarily do much with, but I'm willing to share that with the world so that people want more. Yeah.
Because it costs us courage.
Oh yeah.
Costs us courage. I think I'm trying to think German there. That's why it's
that is impressive all the same.
Thank you. Or I'm just speaking gobbledygook, one of the two.
Still also cool.
Yeah, thank you. So because we each have our own little unique quirks and gifts, which we're here to share. And even if you believe you're not here to heal others or help others, indirectly every single person is.
That's exactly what I believe. You know, like the cloud worker idea of how they used to sit on the edge of a city and they would watch the clouds and they would meditate, and the clouds would be indicative of like issues that were going on internally. And as the meditator would work internally, then the cloud would disappear, as would all of the problems that were kind of overhead outside of that village.
Ah.
Will just, I'll focus a lot on doing all of this work within me, knowing that I am a cloud worker, and that as I do work within myself, I will help others to do work within themselves. I'm
Beautiful.
laser.
I like that. That's really sitting lovely with me. I like that. Well, thank you so much for joining us for a cuppa today. It's been absolutely delightful. And for those of you who want to connect with Joyce, you know, I can highly encourage you to do that. And if you didn't quite catch how to connect with her, reach out to me and I'll more than happily put you two in contact, because it would be absolutely a joy. I just want to keep saying joy today.
Joy to the world.
Exactly. So for everybody, have a super joyful rest of the day, evening, and step into tomorrow taking that joy with you. And we look forward to welcoming you to another cup of self-empowerment very, very soon. Take care, and take care of yourself, and be kind to yourself as well. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.